Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really interesting question you sent us. Can we actually get power from rain? Especially, somewhere famously sunny like Los Angeles.
Right. It sounds a bit odd on the surface.
Yeah, we looked at these sources on rain-powered solar in Los Angeles, and they reveal some surprising things about solar panels when it does rain there.
Exactly. LA has that Mediterranean climate, mostly sun, yeah, but distinct rainy seasons, usually November through March.
Okay.
And the big challenge for standard solar panels is, well, they don't like clouds much. Efficiency can drop, say, 15 to 40% under overcast skies.
Wow, that much?
Yeah. And during heavy rain, it can be way lower, maybe down to only 5 or 20% of normal output.
Okay, that's a huge hit.
Definitely. There was this example, someone on Reddit, I think, their 6.5 kilowatt system made like 25 kilowatt hours on a sunny day.
Pretty good.
Yeah, but on a rainy day, only 1.6 kilowatt hours.
Ouch. That's barely anything.
Exactly. And it's not just rain. Summer heat's another factor. Once you get above 30 Celsius, roughly 86 Fahrenheit, efficiency dips a bit more for every degree hotter.
So it's a clear problem for relying just on sun, which brings us to the core idea.
Yeah.
What if the rain itself could, add power instead of just taking it away?
Right. That's where this experimental tech comes in. Triboelectric nanogenerators. TENS for short.
Tenjings. Okay, what are they?
So the idea is to integrate these tank systems with the solar panels. They're designed to capture the kinetic energy, basically the impact of raindrops hitting the surface.
Huh. Turning motion into electricity? Kinda.
Kinda, yeah. On a tiny scale, there's lab work, like from Sucha University. They made a hybrid panel. It combined a type of solar cell, perovskite, with a tang boosted by molybdenum trioxide.
Okay.
And they got about 0.67 milliwatts peak power from simulated raindrops. Another earlier design used textured polymers and got about 2 volts per drop, but very little current.
So lab results sound intriguing maybe, but let's get real. Putting these tangies on rooftops in LA, what are the hurdles?
Oh, the hurdles are pretty significant right now, both technical and economic.
Like what?
Well, the biggest one is just the sheer difference in energy produced. A standard 10 kilowatt solar system in LA, summer day, might crank out 10,000 watt hours, maybe more.
Okay.
These 10 prototypes, we're talking less than 1 watt hour per square meter during rain.
Wait, less than 1 watt hour compared to 10,000?
Yeah, it's a massive disparity. So you have to ask, how much does that tiny bit of rain power actually help offset the big drop in solar production?
Right. Doesn't sound like much.
And then there's material durability. Those perovskite cells used in some hybrids, they degrade faster under strong UV light. Maybe 30% faster in LA's high UV index compared to standard silicon panels.
So they might not last as long.
Potentially, yeah. And LA only gets rain, 36 days a year on average? So the tank part isn't even working most of the time. You definitely need batteries.
And the economics.
Well, the TNUG PV prototype panels might cost less per watt upfront, maybe $2.85 versus $2.50 for standard PV. But California's new net metering rules, NEM 3.0, they drastically cut the credits you get for sending excess power to the grid.
Oh, okay.
So that really pushes people towards batteries for storing their own solar power rather than hoping for tiny gains from rain to sell back. The value proposition gets tricky.
Okay, so let's stack them up then. If you're considering solar in LA today, how do these hybrid systems compare head-to-head with just regular solar panels based on this data?
Let's take a hypothetical 10 kilowatt system.
Right.
Standard PV. You might get 65 kilowatters on a sunny day, maybe 5 kilowatters on a rainy day. Lifespan, 25, maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
Maintenance, perhaps $150 a year.
Got it. And the teeny hybrid.
Same 10 kilowatt size. Sunny day output actually drops, maybe by 10%, so around 58.5 kilowatters. That's likely due to the hybrid structure being less efficient for solar capture.
Okay, less power on sunny days.
But on rainy days, you get a tiny bump, maybe 4% more, so 5.2 kilowatters instead of 5.
So a very small gain when it rains, but a loss when it shines.
Exactly, and the estimated lifespan is much shorter, maybe 12 to 15 years based on current materials. Plus, maintenance costs could be double, maybe $300 a year because it's more complex.
That trade-off doesn't sound great right now. Given all that, is rain-powered solar just a cool science project, or is there a real future here?
Well, it's not practical for your average home today, but research is ongoing. They're looking at better materials like UV-resistant polymers to make the panels last longer, maybe over 20 years.
Okay.
And how you install them matters. Putting them on steeper roofs, say 15 degrees or more, could actually help capture more energy from runoff, maybe 40% more.
Interesting. Any other angles?
Yeah, policy could play a role, maybe integrating with things like LA's stormwater capture plan for subsidies. And combining them with advanced batteries, like flow batteries, could potentially help microgrids stay reliable during big storms like atmospheric rivers.
Okay, so for you, the listener, thinking about this right now,
Right.
what's the takeaway?
The takeaway is Tiangs and rain power are scientifically interesting, but the technology isn't there yet for widespread use. The energy gain is minimal, durability is a concern.
So stick with regular solar.
For homeowners, yeah. Prioritize high-efficiency panels, maybe bifacial ones that capture light from both sides, paired with good battery storage, like a lithium-ion system. That's your best bet for handling rainy day dips right now.
But maybe cities could experiment.
Exactly. Municipal projects, pilot programs on public buildings. That
Yeah.
could be a good way to test scalability and see if those stormwater management incentives could actually help make it viable down the road.
All right, that was a fascinating deep dive into a niche, but maybe, just maybe, future tech.
Yeah.
Rain-powered solar.
Yeah, and thinking bigger picture, it does make you wonder, right? Beyond just generating electricity, how else could we maybe integrate technologies that work with natural elements like rain? How could that help build more resilient cities, better manage resources?
Definitely something to mull over.
Something to think about until our next deep dive.